Is divorce a good thing or a bad thing? What do you think? Different people will have different opinions. Church folk will say God hates divorce. And so my question that follows up is, would God rather me dead than divorce? Will God rather my children dead than be divorced? Now, I know that divorce is not the only option, right? There's separation, and different things can happen. If there's violence, however, whether to the man or the woman or the children, there has to be a separation. Has to be. I know some of our parents stayed married because they said, oh, we stayed married to your father or your mother because of you children. But one thing that I've learned in my business and the clients that I've spoken to is honestly how it has been more damaging to those children. I've met people who, out of my clients, who said to me how their father used to beat their mothers. And they will watch their fathers beat their mother. They will go in between to go and help them, and they will throw them against the wall. I've met people who said that they saw all kinds of things happen. How their parents would say terrible words about the other parent. Sometimes it's the woman doing it against the man. Sometimes it's the man. Sometimes they don't even allow you to see your parent at all. I've heard all kinds of things. And it's so painful to hear because I just wish we did better, knowing the damage that it can cause. So in any way there's violence, I don't think anybody should stay together. In any way. And I mean physical violence. I'm going to go to emotional violence because it does happen. Physical violence, you can die from that one immediately. I've had a friend who her husband broke her ribs and she died whilst he was beating her. I've heard all kinds of things, right? So if it's a physical thing, if you are the one that can carry the children and run, carry the children and run. If he's the man and you can carry whatever, that you need to at least be alive before, and I'm not saying you need to divorce, but you can have an immediate separation and everybody go for counseling. And in that counseling, you must see that the person is going for certain things. Anger management, going for therapy, is healing, and you can see the actual change in the person's life over a period of time. It's not that, oh, he has changed, so you should come back. No, over a period of time, because you can't lie forever. Over a period of time, then you can come back together and continue your family. Because I know that there are people who are wounded who don't know better. And the moment they do better. Because that child has also come from a place where, violence also existed. So I give room for grace. But you have to be alive to be graceful. Yeah? Okay. Emotional violence, there can also be separation as well. If every time your spouse is always telling you how useless you are, how much of a bastard you are, I had a friend, her husband used to call her a prostitute. He locked her up in the house for years. The children couldn't even go to school. She used to homeschool them. And every time he would call her names. The moment we were able to carry her out of that house, we did, but she came back and he beat her and she died. So emotional abuse is huge as well. There is no way you can be healthy living in abuse. I had a relative who had the same, and she almost died. Her body shut down. At some point, she couldn't walk. So emotional abuse can also damage you. And I tell you also, separate. And let both of you go for counseling. Separate. And if you still want to come together, then you can go for individual counsel. You can go for family counsel for your next phase. Because that marriage is dead. It's now a new marriage you're about to enter. And also for the children. But guys, when two elephants are fighting, the ground will suffer. When parents are fighting, the children suffer. But woman, man, don't stay in a relationship that you're being abused, whether emotionally or physically. And so some people who are watching me say, it's easy for you to say, Shabi, you have money. What about us that don't have anything to do? Put a plan in place. Nothing needs to be done immediately except they are beating you and you can die. But put a plan in place. Learn a skill. Learn a skill. There's so many things. When I was pregnant, I decided to teach myself how to sew. I bought a sewing machine. I would go on YouTube, watch the video, sit down, cut the dress. Go on YouTube, watch the video, sit down, sew it. My sister-in-law will come, who was a tailor or who is a fashion designer. I'll tell her, show me how to roll this thing. She will show me and pedal the sewing machine. Because I didn't buy, I bought a manual sewing machine because I really wanted to learn from the scratch. I can't remember when last I sat down on a sewing machine to sew anything. But at a point in my life, I used to sew the clothes that I will wear. And I will wear it to work the following day. And people will tell me they like it. They won't know that it's a mistake that I made. Some people are learning how to bake. I have a friend who self-taught baker. Her and her husband own a bakery. So there's no excuse. You can learn how to make cream. You can learn how to make soap. You can learn how to make anything online. Learn a skill. Learn a skill and put that skill to work. That's what's going to bring money into your pocket. And then you can plan. Or maybe you have an uncle or a brother or a sister or somebody you can go and borrow money from. But whilst that's happening, learn a skill. Because a lot of people say, oh, how would I financially? But learn a skill. Learn something. Put your usefulness and your body that is functioning to work. Maybe you didn't go to school. I understand that. Learn a skill. Go and learn how to do makeup. Learn how to tie gele and go and partner with somebody who does makeup and tell every time you're going out on Saturday, I'll follow you. I'll tie your gele for you. But because we're too lazy to think about these things, we're so used to somebody doing everything for you. You now start to ask, where will I start from? From the very beginning. Will people say I have failed? That's their business. The question is, are you alive to tell the story? And are you alive to look after your children? So divorce might not be the only option, but divorce is a definite option. Separation is also another option. Because you might not want to completely sever it. There's some relationships that just need to be broken completely so that you don't kill those children. There's so many children on addiction these days, on drugs. Why? And I'm talking 14, 15, say they're already smoking pot, smoking all kinds of things, having sexual relationships with random people. Why? Because you guys couldn't get your acts together. And now what has it done to them? And these kids didn't ask you to be brought into this world. You brought them. So be responsible. And God, I promise you, would rather you alive and safe than dead and married. I remember a pastor one day came to meet a friend of mine who was a lawyer to help him represent him in a case. When he shared this story, the girl came home to tell her parents that her husband has been beating her and beating the children. The father said, me, a pastor, what will I tell the church members? That my daughter came back home from her husband's house. Go back there. Oh. You two don't shout too much. You two don't look for his trouble. You two don't give her stupid advice. She went back, of course, because of what will people say. And the guy beat her and she died. So he's now looking for a lawyer to sue the man for killing his child. When he had the option of stopping this, he said, what will people say? Please, what are people saying now? And what is he going through now? So please, let's be wiser than all this nonsense. And you know, I also say that if we can remove till death do us part and remove forever from marriage, we'll be happier. I know it sounds heavy. If we can remove forever till death do us part from marriage, You would do things from a place, or you do things from a different place. You would just, when somebody is slapping you and there's no forever in this matter, you will pack your load and say, my father did not. And then when you go back to your father's house, your father will open the door and say, welcome home. I didn't give birth to you to be slapped. If I didn't slap you, I didn't born you for another man to slap you. And you say, welcome home, and even do welcome party that you were wise enough to run home. Because there's no forever in our hearts. Anyways, I think I'm very passionate about this because I'm seeing so many children suffer, guys. So many children are suffering. So many. Let's help them. Let's help them. If we chose wrongly by who we ended up in a relationship with, let's choose ourselves and let's choose our children and find help today. I'm here if you want me. Okay? Hi there. My name is Adeola Kingsley James. I hope you really got a lot from my videos. Don't stop at just listening. Be a doer. If I asked you to do something, do it please. But don't also stop at that. Share me with other people. Click the notification bell below and do what? Yes, subscribe. And then remind yourself every time my new videos come out so that you can watch them and you can learn from them. I really, really, really honor you. Have a wonderful day. Love and light.